From German princess to Russian empress, the epic reign of Catherine the Great. Welcome to History Uncovered, where we explore the stories of historical figures who shaped the course of civilization. In this episode, we turn our attention to Catherine the Great, the Empress of Russia, whose intelligence, ambition, and reforms propelled her country to new heights. From her modest upbringing as a German princess to her remarkable reign as Russia's longest ruling female leader, Catherine's legacy continues to fascinate historians and admirers around the world. Early life and upbringing: born Sophie Friederike, Auguste von Anhalt-Zerbst on May 7, 1729, in the city of Stettin, now Szczecin, Poland, Catherine came from a minor German princely family with more prestige than wealth. Despite her family's modest standing, her mother ambitiously sought opportunities to elevate their status. As a child, Sophie received a well-rounded education typical for a young noblewoman of the era. She learned French, became familiar with Enlightenment ideas, and practiced courtly manners that would serve her well in royal circles. Her mother's aspirations led to an invitation from the Russian court, which was searching for a suitable bride for the Grand Duke Peter, nephew and heir of Empress Elizabeth of Russia. Although Sophie had never set foot in Russia, she rose to the challenge. Determined to win over the Russians, she studied the language intensively, impressed courtiers with her quick learning, and converted from Lutheranism to Eastern Orthodoxy. This religious shift signified her full embrace of her new homeland. In 1745, at age 16, Sophie took on the name Catherine Yekaterina Alexeyevna upon her marriage to Grand Duke Peter. Marriage to Peter and court intrigues. Catherine quickly discovered that her marriage to the future Peter III was far from a fairy tale. Peter, of German origin himself, showed limited interest in governing Russia and was deeply enamored with all things Prussian. His behavior and volatile temperament alienated many at court, including his wife. Meanwhile, Catherine cultivated alliances within the influential Russian nobility. She spent hours in study, devouring works of French philosophes like Voltaire and Diderot, and taking a keen interest in Enlightenment thought. While Empress Elizabeth was alive, Catherine's position remained precarious. But her graceful demeanor, intellectual engagement, and shrewd network building secured her a circle of powerful supporters. By the time Elizabeth died in 1762, Catherine had become a serious political force. Peter III succeeded Elizabeth, but his unpopular moves, such as making peace with Prussia, Russia's longtime foe, alienated powerful military and aristocratic factions. Seizing the throne, sensing the dissatisfaction with Peter's rule, Catherine's allies orchestrated a coup. In June 1762, military regiments in St. Petersburg declared their loyalty to Catherine, supporting her claim to the throne. Catherine moved swiftly and decisively. She had Peter arrested and forced him to abdicate the crown in her favor. Shortly after, he died under suspicious circumstances while in custody, leaving Catherine to assume sole rule as Empress of Russia. At the time of her ascension, Russia was vast but still largely underdeveloped. Catherine embraced Enlightenment ideals, aiming to modernize and westernize her empire. She recognized the need for reform in governance, economics, education, and culture, ambitions that would define her decades-long reign. Enlightenment reforms and cultural renaissance. From the start of her reign in 1762, Catherine strove to be seen as an enlightened ruler. She corresponded with prominent intellectuals, including Voltaire and Diderot, discussing issues of governance, philosophy, and law. Inspired by these ideas, she formed a commission in 1767 to codify Russian laws and even wrote her own Instruction, which was heavily influenced by Montesquieu's separation of powers and Beccaria's reforms on criminal justice. Though the commission did not achieve lasting legislative changes, it symbolized Catherine's aspiration to transform Russia. Under her patronage, the Russian court flourished as a cultural hub. She founded Smolny Institute, one of the first educational institutions for women in Europe, and supported the creation of the Imperial Public Library. Her court welcomed Western European art, architecture, and drama, spurring a golden age of literature and learning. Russia's capital, St. Petersburg, became a glittering symbol of the empire's new sophistication. The territorial expansion and foreign policy. Catherine's reign also marked a period of aggressive territorial expansion. She waged successful wars against the Ottoman Empire, pushing Russia's southern border to the Black Sea and securing crucial warm water ports. These victories boosted Russia's international standing and gave it greater influence in European affairs. Catherine's involvement in the partitions of Poland, where Russia, Prussia, and Austria carved up Polish territory, further enhanced Russian power. Challenges and revolts not always peaceful under her reign. The most significant domestic challenge came from the Pugachev Rebellion, a 1773-1775, a Cossack-led uprising that threatened Catherine's hold on power. In the aftermath, Catherine tightened her grip on serfs, relying more on the nobility's loyalty to maintain stability, an ironic twist for an empress who admired Enlightenment ideals of liberty. In her later years, she continued her cultural patronage, collecting vast artworks, much of which now forms the core of the Hermitage Museum, and staying involved in European politics. Her death ended one of Russia's most transformative reigns. Over nearly 35 years on the throne, Catherine guided Russia to a place among Europe's great powers. Her legacy resonates to this day, reflecting how leadership, personal ambition, and a willingness to embrace new ideas can redefine a nation's fortunes, just as she did for Russia on the threshold of the modern age.